I'm just going to be real with you guys. If you're looking for a standalone thermal with a 640 sensor under $1,500, then just buy this. Welcome back to the Pursuit of Accuracy. I'm Josh, and today we're reviewing the Leaf MT1000LRF. Now, we're going to take a little bit of a different stance on this because if you've looked on YouTube at all, some of my friends and a bunch of other YouTubers have already reviewed this because this is a sub $1,500. I think it's like $1,300 and something right now. That's subject to change. I haven't really followed it super closely, but I'm sure that price floats around a little bit. But it is a standalone 640 thermal sensor. Now, I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. I'm always super honest with my reviews. If you were here to hear about every spec and every feature on this from their website, you came to the wrong review. I'm actually going to link some more in-depth reviews down below. You can go check those out. My buddy Don over at Rimfire SS, he actually goes over the ballistic profiles, and he actually kind of had a tricked out way of recording the menus because you can't record the menus from the internal recording. That leads me to another important part here. The video you are seeing doesn't look as good as what I see through my eye. That is just generic of the cheaper thermals. You're talking under $3,000 thermal. Typically, they don't record in the same quality that you're able to see with your eyes. So what you're seeing doesn't quite look as good as what I'm seeing. So keep that in mind as you're seeing the B-roll footage of this. So yeah, back to just being straight up and honest with you guys. Leaf has emailed me probably a dozen times, if they've emailed me once, mostly about their day-night scopes. And I've never reviewed any of them. I've never had really any interest in reviewing any Leaf products, and I've literally just never responded to them. I saw the email for the MT1000. I almost skipped it, but then I saw this was a thermal, and I kind of dismissed it. And then I saw it was a 640 sensor, and I was like, well, probably the refresh rate sucks. Well, then I looked in, it's 60 hertz. I was like, okay, that doesn't suck. Then I started looking at the other specs. I'm like, wow, for like 1,300 and something bucks, this sounds pretty good. So what I want to do right now is kind of talk about what you're going to get generically across all thermals, because the software kind of stuff, I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about all the little features because there's a bunch of thermals. They all offer the same thing. What I'm going to talk about is that really quickly, and then we're going to talk about what you get with this that you're not getting with other thermals and why this is worth it. If you're looking for a budget thermal and these are getting a lot better, then there's quite a few good reasons to pick this up. All right, so what do almost all these come with? Basically the suite of software stuff. So the one-shot zero, that's basically where you can shoot, look at where you're aiming, freeze it, move the reticle to where you impacted, one-shot zero. That's like a super duper easy software thing to do. You're also going to get obviously a ton of color palettes, like basically anything you can think of. There's going to be a ton of reticle choices. Obviously, you can change this from first focal plane to second focal plane. You can change the reticle color. All those things are options, and hopefully right now what you're looking at is stolen footage from Don over at Rimfire SS. Again, go to that video for the ballistic calculator side of things, and I think he may be an affiliate for Leaf. So if you decide to pick one of these up, let's be fair to Don, I stole some of his footage. Go over there, I'll have that in the comments too. I'll have his code, use his code, help him out. So what does this have that others don't? Well, for one, at $1,300-ish to have a 640 sensor and a laser rangefinder that works pretty dang good. I've used this and I know the distances around my yard, my areas. It works really good. And if you're going to use the ballistic calculator software that almost all these have, it will adjust a reticle hold for you. Again, that's pretty common, but to have a built-in laser rangefinder and a 640 sensor, that's pretty unheard of for this price point. The other thing is these objective lenses. So I have the 35 and the 50. They're going to change your base magnification. I encourage you to look at the website and see what you want for a base magnification. Obviously for me, I'm kind of using this as a pest control kind of rig. So I'm in kind of like really short distance, tight quarters. So I'm going to go with something like the 35 where I'm going to have a lower base magnification. Super easy to swap these out. Literally just hit this little button and then you can just grab this thing and lock it in place and you've switched. Now, when you switch these, it does change to 0, so you can save a profile in this for each one. But typically, what I found is that I kind of just always roll with this one, although I did get footage with both. And again, the B-roll footage that you're seeing isn't like actually what I'm seeing, and also purposely shot for me in not ideal conditions. So most of the night footage is right after it rained, which is pretty tough on thermals, and a lot of daytime footage. Kind of common for most others, but not always. This uses an 18650, and you can just plug in and recharge this. But using an 18650, one, it's going to give you a lot of battery life, and two, these are everywhere and they're super cheap, because if you got buddies who are on the vapes, they're using 18650s, so that has made them really, really popular and really dirt cheap. I mean, you can probably get a collection to keep this thing up and running for like a week at a time for less than 30 bucks on Amazon if you wanted to carry just a crap ton of spares with you. But 18650, definitely a plus in my opinion on this. And you've got to set some expectations. This is a sub $1,500 640 sensor thermal. It is 640 sensor, but if you compare it to a $7,000 640 sensor thermal, then you can expect that, yeah, this is not going to be as good. And I kind of explain this, and I'm not a thermal expert, but if you were to look at a 4K GoPro camera footage compared to this camera, a mirrorless Sony 4K camera, both being 4K, the Sony is going to have a better image. But do we want to pay $5,000 more for better than this? Do you need better than this? Likely not. This thing is going to work really well, especially at that price point. And that's going to bring us to our last feature. This has like a shutterless design. So if you've ever used other thermals or seen other thermals being used, what you'll do is you'll be kind of looking, and then it'll kind of do a quick recalibrate. So that it'll like freeze the frame, and then like a second later restart it. And it's not a deal breaker. It's pretty easy to get used to, but it is kind of annoying, and this doesn't do that. Like, it never does it. I've spent hours behind this just playing around with it before I even started filming, just to make sure this was even worth doing a review on, and it's never done that. I don't know how they go about doing that. I'm sure there's some tricky software stuff, but all I know is that it's really cool. It's another feature. It's like, you know, you've got different lenses you can throw on this, 18650 battery. It's got a good sensor. It's got a good image. It's got a lot of things going for it and a really good price. So before I get too crazy with this, that's what I want to say, that if you're looking for something 640 sensor, sub $1,500 for a standalone unit, because this is just a single use bolted to a rifle, sighted in, that's what this is used for. It's not like a 3-in-1. But if that's what you're looking for, I don't think you can go wrong with this if you're looking to stay budget. Now, could you spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 and end up with something that has a nicer image? Of course. But for $1,300-ish, it is super cool to see the thermal game getting more affordable. And I understand that $1,300, $1,400, it is not cheap. That is not a small amount of money, but for a 640 sensor thermal. So again, I'm not an affiliate. Use Don's affiliate code. I'll have that link down below. Big thanks to him. I'll probably have asked him after I recorded this if I could steal his footage. He's a really cool guy, so I assume that was okay with him. But yeah, I would not hesitate to spend your money if this is what you're looking for. Obviously, if you're looking for something multifunction, there are other people in that game. But yeah, can't recommend this enough for what this is and the money. Appreciate you guys watching. Catch you on the next one.